Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nikki D Show. First, let me say thank you to all the new subscribers. I was literally at like 40 subscribers, and now I think I'm a little bit over 200, which is great. And that's in like the last week and a half. So that means that the videos are getting around and people are appreciating them, because for those who subscribe, that means that you guys want the information that I'm giving out. So thank you. I totally appreciate you. Now, let's get to it, okay? Let's get on down to it. First of all, when you come to my channel, I absolutely am always going to refrain from messy celebrity gossip, right? Even though I might be on a hot topic, my goal is to pull the information out of the hot topic, because a lot of us are blinded in this music industry by, all of the drama that happens with celebrities and the drama that happens in the industry. But we never really talk about business. You feel me? So that's my goal here. So, which brings me to IRV GOTTI and Ashanti and IRV's interview on Drink Champs. But my take from it, and what I'd like to bring to the table from that particular interview, is IRV spoke about his masters, kind of sort of what we talked about with Beyonce and Khalees and any other artists damn near today. But still, people are not getting it, so I like to kind of drill it in there. And he also talked about stems. So a lot of people have no idea what a stem is. People are just making songs today, and they're just jumping in the studio, and they're just, bouncing it down to two tracks, or two track, and then that's it. And that's still another language that people probably won't understand. But let's just get into the masters for a second. So IRV was talking about, what does the person who has the record have after all is said and done, if in fact they give up their masters, right, to the artist. Now, with everybody, and I said this before, what everybody initially needs to know when they're entering into a deal, publishing is on the table. But publishing is your check. It is your long money. It is your intellectual property. It is your generational wealth. And there's nothing wrong with whatever the label decides to do on that side. So people would like to say, oh, the label's grimy, people are grimy. And, I feel like if you have a relationship with somebody, maybe you could work something out, you know what I mean? And not just leave them. But I think when bad blood is mixed up, you kind of just, the label is just like, I don't care what happens, you ain't getting nothing back. But there's always room for negotiation. Right? So let's just think about negotiating on the front end of it. So if you're ignorant, then get an attorney. And ignorant doesn't mean stupid. It means that you have a lack of knowledge. When people say ignorant, it means that, people just get all offended, like, I ain't ignorant, who you talking to? It just means you have a lack of knowledge of the situation. I'm ignorant to a lot of things. So if you don't understand what you're getting into, get an attorney to look at it. So with publishing being on the table, you have the option to negotiate that. If you're already sitting in front of somebody with a contract, that means that they're interested. So start negotiating. Don't just be like, oh yeah, here, take everything. What's publishing? Publishing is your money. That's where you're going to get your bread when you're 60 years old. My song came out 31 years ago, I think, Daddy's Little Girl. I still get digital royalty checks for it because now it's streaming. So at the end of the day, when you, again, have that publishing on the table, make sure you want to go ahead and make that happen the way it's set forth in that contract. If you want to change the clause, tell your attorney, ask your attorney, what is this? What does this mean for me later on? Don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared that that money's going to walk away from you. Because if you have faith and you're really strong in who you are as an artist, that's one contract. That's it. We can talk bidding wars some other time, because that's also an option. So basically he's saying, what does anybody have after they give up their masters to the artist? What does the label have, rather? So
artists have a way of getting money. Rule makes a lot of money.
Yes, he does.
Doing shows. Ashanti makes a lot of money doing shows. So what's left for the guy who was the record label who helped make the records?
It's like different tracks grouped together, and they're now in stereo, and they've been EQ'd, and they've added whatever sounds they wanted, plugins on it, and now they're grouped so they can now sound a certain way. So that is usually the finished product. once you have tracked everything. So she wants it for her shows. But if he sends out those stems, which is also the final recording of the songs, the album, whatever it is she needed for, then she's gonna go ahead and be able to recreate that whole album on her own. And that's why he's like, hell to the no.
She's been performing for 20 years. She's never asked for her stems.
I get where he's coming from. A lot of artists need to understand that when they go out to get these deals done, that they need to really understand the whole intellectual property that is involved here. It's not just you being a dope artist who's pretty, or a bad boy who could rap, or a dope ass singer, and that's all you need to be. No, you need to be a business person, and that is exactly how you'll be able to have longevity. You still have an audience and you still have a base. Guess what? Create some new music. Put some new hit records out. I'm sure these artists, like he said, Ja Rule's making plenty of money on the road. He said Ashanti's making plenty of money on the road. These artists can put out new music now and sell it to this same audience that has been loving them for years. Because obviously if these people are coming to see them, that means that they still love them as artists. And Ashanti looks fucking great. And Ja Rule still looks wonderful and healthy. So at the end of the day, it's not like auntie and uncle getting on the stage. It's, she a baddie. She getting up there, she doing her thing. So she could absolutely be a brand new artist right now if she wants to, and create her own new stems. Now she understands more of what masters are and what stems are and what you need when you get ready to go do a show. And if you ever wanted to reproduce your music, or if you need to have some ownership in your masters and in your intellectual property altogether. You just need to. And even if you don't own the masters, then you have to own the publishing at least, so that whoever owns the masters can't move them without you. You understand? Like if the label owns the masters, that's fine. But if you own your publishing, they also need to always contact you when they get ready to do something. If they get ready to relicense it to somebody, they get ready to re-put it out, they need to reach out to you or your attorney, whomever your business manager is, and say, hey, we're about to re-release Oh Baby, whatever that song was, and tell you, that that's happening, and they want to know your terms. So, you could live a long time off your own music, honestly. Yeah, so you definitely want to make sure you stay involved in the business aspect of it all. And I cannot express this enough, that you must absolutely understand that this is the music business. Can you do anything you want with all that music you just created and you just wrote? Now, don't get it twisted. If somebody helps you write and somebody is guiding you, they're also producing that record with you. So don't get it twisted. If, like, people would say this, for example, like, let's say Puffy, for example, right? Diddy, Love, Sean Combs, whatever. He got like 12 names.
I got you.
Hey, yo, love.
Fine, I'll cover it for now.
Thank you so much.
But anyway, people say, oh, Puffy ain't make a beat. If Puffy comes in there and says, don't, let me hear that, don't, and Stevie J is over there with the, don't, and he plays it, and then somebody else over in the drums, and Puff, let me hear, and he's producing this song. At this point, these guys have not come up with the melody. They actually work for hire unless he wants to include them as producers, because now they're going to execute it in the right way. But he's starting to produce the record at that point. He does not have to touch a drum machine to produce a record. And that's what people have twisted up. Like, oh, he wasn't even there. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, he wasn't making no beats. He wasn't playing no instruments. If he came up with all the melodies, he came up with the concepts, he produced the record. He co-produced it with whomever actually executed it with him, or he did the whole thing himself. Anyway, got my Run DMC shirt on. I got to always show love to my peers, to the pioneers rather, because they're my pioneers. They paved the way. So I'm always trying to show some love to my people. But shout out to all you guys. I thank you so much for coming in and getting down with the Nikki D show. I will grow. We will start to do interviews. We will start to bring more people to the table. And if anything you guys think that you want to hear from me or you'd like for me to talk about it, just drop it in the comments. And also, if you want to help me grow, dropping that Cash App on here. All right. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And see you next time.